Good morning, good morning, good morning, folks. Welcome to Very Stupid O'Clock and to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. Alright, folks, I am trying not to rant first thing before we get into the main meat of the video because I've been taking up sweet, precious time while doing so. And yeah, I only get so many hours before work. So we're going to jump right into it this morning. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Center's quote-unquote behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you reading this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused to comply, so please read that article and share on all your social media. We also have NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding folks in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. We also have linked in there We also have a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We got the pertinent links to the Agape boarding school situation as well. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens that has and pending as of right now over 21 substantiated claims, allegations, and civil lawsuits leveled against it. These claims include sexual abuse, sodomy, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. We have one former staff member arrested by the FBI. We have a doctor who still lives on the premises who with full access to the boys, who's up on multiple claims of substantiated allegations, of sodomy and sexual assault on the boys there. We have Eric Schmidt, who just simply kicked the can down the road until the next attorney general took over for him and he got his cushy fucking seat in Washington. I hope Washington eats them alive. And we also have the governor here, who's ate up on stupid and is on a power trip. So please share those articles. Don't forget to share and sign the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. Got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Don't forget Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet and that clip, one piece out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002. Now, folks, when we speak about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. All right, should go without saying. Also, this channel is marked not for children for a reason. We talk about dark subjects and we do use profanity. If your child is 16 and under and they're watching, please, parental supervision. All right? It is 3:56, folks. My brain is mush. It's basically been Black Friday now at Wayfair for 2 solid weeks of back-to-back calls. And well, if you watched my video yesterday, you know what I'm going to be up against after Thanksgiving. So please, folks, if I stumble over my words, apologies in advance. I've not had my second cup of coffee, and I am exhausted at this point, all right? Also, it is Monday, and because I'm insane, we are still going to, in spite of my exhaustion, do Monday open chat later tonight. It's probably going to be around around 4:30 or 4:40, depending on how long it takes me to shove food in my face, all right? All right, so where we left off yesterday. Trigger warning before we get into that. We are about to listen to the ravings of a lunatic mind that is Matthew Israel. You're going to hear victim blaming, gaslighting. You are going to hear ableism and bigotry all around. So just, be prepared for that. JRC is a successful educational and treatment program because it focuses on the treatment of safety and effectiveness and not on what is politically expedient. You call that successful? Dude. If, when the person is taken off the device, they exhibit all the same behaviors because the triggers were never dealt with. Because in your arrogance, you people think you know everything when you don't. How is that successful? When the good majority of your students, when they come out, do not even graduate with a high school diploma. How is that successful? Let me go you one further. When kids graduate and leave your hellhole, and they come out with post-traumatic stress disorder and brand new psychological diagnoses that they did not have before they entered your school, how is that successful? That is the exact opposite of effective. And I'm glad you brought up safety, doctor, because you don't really seem to have any safety protocols that actually protect the students from you. You put in the token safety protocols that can be found at any facility, literally anywhere. However, when it comes to actual safety and the general health and psychological well-being of the kids, you can't be asked, as I like to say. You can't tell me you can care about the kids' safety when you're forcing them to bathe in a shower with an electronic device attached to them. And don't tell me, well, I make sure that they hold their arm out of the shower so it doesn't get wet. Dude, you never seen water splash before? You never heard of somebody falling in the shower and having an accident? True safety would mean you would not be forcing these kids to carry an electronic device where it has the chance of getting wet. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is why your devices go off all the goddamn always, even when no one's pushing the button. They're malfunctioning because you're forcing these kids to bathe with it. Safety, my ass. Shocking to someone to fucking catatonia is not safe. Shocking a student at 3 times more powerful than a police taser on its lowest setting, when 3 to 5 milliamps can drop a full-grown, muscle-bound, over 200-pound grown-ass man. When a police taser can literally stop the heart of someone. Yet you are putting not even fully grown and formed kids on a device that is 3 times more powerful. That's not safe. It's not about political expediency, so you can take your arrogance and shove it directly up your ass. We care about the safety and the psychological well-being and the human rights of the people you torture every day. You couldn't give 2 shits about those kids' safety. If you did, why are you denying them breakfast? Everyone knows breakfast is the by far most important meal of the day. If you are denying them breakfast because they're not behaving and having behaviors, that's not caring about their safety. Okay? Just in case anybody's wondering. JRC designs behavior treatment plans based on the individual needs of the student. No, you don't. No, you don't. Here's their argument. Because each behavioral plan marks different so-called triggers to use to shock a student, they call that individualized. It's not. You cannot use the same treatment on completely night and day different disabilities and call that individualized. Are you on crack? Is it crack that you're smoking? Because that must be some good shit. That must be some come to Jesus level crack. That's not individualized. Okay? Individualized would mean completely different treatment programs for each student based on that particular student's disability and exactly what their very specific difficulties are. Individualized would mean providing different treatment based on triggering issues. That doesn't mean slap a fucking electrocution device on them. That means working within a program that best suits the student, whether it be person-centered planning, positive behavioral reinforcement, any of the other programs out there literally that would work best for that particular kid. You don't. Not at all. So don't get me started that it's individualized. It's actually not. Moving on. More than half the JRC students never receive supplemental adversives because they can effectively be treated by positive programming that is the basic component of JRC's unique 24/7 intensive behavioral program. So what? You want a cookie? You want me to pat you on the back that you don't shock the majority? You just pick out certain ones, right? You just pick out the minorities to slap that on, right? How do I know this? It's simple, folks. Jennifer Masumba and Andre McCollins were both black. Tori Amos was Latina. Linda Cornelison was Latina. The individual involved with the over 71 shocks were people of color. Yeah, if anybody thinks there's not a race component in here, listen up, because now's the time to pay attention. Okay? You don't get a cookie because you're not torturing all of your students, JRC. You still put them on those starvation food programs. You still force ABA down their throats, a behavioral psychology treatment for a neurological disorder. You are still using your bizarre behavioral lessons that is basically had to come out of the mind of a fucking unfeeling sociopath. Okay? You don't get a free pass because, well, most of them aren't on the shock device. Karen, please. Also, if you want to tell me the majority are on our positive programming, again, I will bring you back to your own words in your 2006 reply in regards to the New York report, where you stated you don't even know what positive reinforcement fucking is. So, if you don't even know what it is, how in the hell am I supposed to believe that you're applying it correctly? You don't know the first thing about it or what it entails. And as far as your rewards, they are by far not age appropriate. So maybe with these kids, you're not making them earn every bite of food like you're doing to your minority students. And yes, I'm going to keep slamming that home until people get it. They target minority kids. They target them. It's obvious, okay? I'm just putting that out there. When you got a system that is literally sending outreach out to poor minority communities with no other options except what is offered in public schools in poor areas, with barely any resources to cover kids there as it is, let alone be able to do individualized planning. Yeah, there's something extremely fucking sinister there. There's something very racist there. Just going to say. Just going to say. Let's see here. You don't, folks. You get a pizza party. You could go spend 5 minutes in the ball pit. These are not age appropriate, doctor. They're not age appropriate. A reward should not be going to the playroom. It should be having the chance to go out into the community and enjoy outings out, where they go shopping without someone there with the ability to slam them on the device at any time. Okay? Just saying. Unlike the stories about what is happening in the public schools to disabled children behind all closed doors, all JRC's treatment is disclosed, court-approved, and monitored. Really? You want to drag public schools into this? Fine, let's do it. Let's do it, shall we? Let's compare. Public schools have gotten in trouble from improper restraints and seclusion rooms. The JRC has gotten in trouble for the death of 6 fucking kids. They've gotten in trouble for torturing a student into catatonia. They've gotten in trouble for starving their students. They have gotten in trouble from, let's see here, their bizarre behavioral rehearsal lessons. They've gotten in trouble because one of the staff sexually assaulted one of the kids there. So let's put, public school is here. It's low bar, right? This is the JRC. Like, so far up, you can't even see my hand. Don't compare yourself with public schools, JRC. It makes you look worse than you already are. Public schools have their problems. Yes, I can vouch for that. But where their issues are and where yours are, it's not even comparable. It's literally apples and oranges. Literally apples and oranges. You can't compare them. It's not even remotely the same. Sometimes, with improper restraints, students die. Yes, I mourn them every time. That's why we're trying to get rid of this innate barbaric idea that we need to be restrained like a fucking animal. True. But public schools aren't torturing their students, JRC. They're not shocking them into obedience. They're not starving them. They're not having public school staff jump out of nowhere, grab the person by the shirt collar, and threaten them with a knife like this, okay? That's not happening in public schools. Do not compare yourself. Okay? That was an absolutely stupid comparison to make. Are y'all, again, I state, are y'all on crack? Whatever crack these people and AH must be smoking, that's got to be some come to Jesus kind of crack, okay? It's got to be some special shit. I'm dealing with morons. Okay. Moving on. Blah. Here we go. Treatment is disclosed, court approved, and monitored. Lie. And how do I know that's a lie? Well, I can tell you. The incident with Andre McCollins. See, the parents are not given the real truth. Oh, they'll let the parents try out the shock device, but they make damn sure that they give them a particular one suited to that exact purpose. They do not tell the parents what level of milliamps they're going to be pumping through their children. They do not tell the parents that the kid has to earn every bite of food. They do not tell the parents they're going to sleep deprive them. They do not tell the parents that they will starve their children. They do not tell the parents that the makeup food is so horrific sensory-wise that to eat it would literally cause the student physical pain, and therefore we would rather fucking starve than put it down our gullet. Okay? Please spare me the bullshit. As far as court approved, again, we all know that you have the Massachusetts courts by the balls, JRC. We don't need your reminder. Judges are in no place to be able to judge what is actually medically safe for these students. They didn't go to fucking medical school. They went to law school. Okay? Their job is to know about the law, not medicine. Not a good comparison. Not to mention, Massachusetts is famous around the world for their bad court-approved decisions. You know, like fucking hanging witches. Yeah, not the best route to go. And monitored. So a judge with a busy schedule, seeing cases day in and day out, are closely also monitoring your school? How? You asked us to look at reality, Dr. Israel, so let's look at reality. You ever seen a judge's court schedule? It's not for the weak, let's put it that way, okay? They do not have the time to closely monitor you. All they can do is look at your paperwork. That's it. They do not go to your school personally to oversee and monitor and make sure you're not actually torturing people. Okay? Spare me the bullshit. Immediate and dramatic results must be obtained or the treatment is terminated. I love your terminology, immediate and dramatic. Might be the only truth you actually tell, but not the way he wants you to believe. His fear gets an immediate response. Trauma gets an immediate response. They will, for a time, get rid of these so-called behaviors y'all are so worried about. But nobody cares about the impact of these so-called treatments. The psychological and physical torture of a fucking child. So yeah, your immediate response is someone who acts through fear. Basically, you're turning the student into a goddamn robot. But if it doesn't work, it's terminated. No, you don't. You put them on the next device up, the GED-4A, when you then shock a not fully formed teenager at 45 milliamps of fucking electricity in a device that is designed to hurt them. You don't terminate shit. Please spare me the idiocy. No other treatment program in the nation is scrutinized as closely as the JRC. Oh, let me play the world's smallest violin for you. Poor Dr. Israel, the victim. He just wants what's best for us, and if he doesn't torture us, we'll just go on to our behaviors and we'll someday die or kill someone. Fucking spare me. Spare me the bullshit, doctor. You are no victim. For the love of God, you were caught trying to get evidence destroyed. If your program is so goddamn awesome, wouldn't you want to display it before the whole world? Why are you hiding it? Because if in your head you're saying, but people will not like it, revolt against it, maybe that means there's something wrong with the program. Seriously? Quit playing the victim here. You're not the victim, you're the fucking monster. You haunt the dreams of the survivors. There are some of them that can't even withstand the sound of Velcro without going into a post-traumatic reaction. So again, Matthew, let me play you the world's smallest itty-bitty tiny violin. Poor Matthew. He got caught. Let's all feel sorry for him. Really? Really now? You're being scrutinized and raked over the coals because you deserve to be. You torture innocent, disabled kids. You do horrific pseudoscience. And the kids don't even have anything to show for it when they leave your doors. They don't even have so much as a GED equivalency when they leave your school. So yeah, there's that. Along with JRC's unparalleled record of success with toughest cases in the nation, why parents trust and believe in the school. Now, they believe you because you drank the Kool-Aid, and you've obviously drank your own Kool-Aid. If you want to sit there and say with your whole chest that we take care of the toughest cases in all the nation in the world, the arrogance, the absolute arrogance of that statement. This nation has millions and millions of disabled people within it. You're really going to tell me that no other state in the entire nation takes on students as tough as yours? You're fooling yourself, doctor. You think in my capacity, having worked in the field, that I've never dealt with the type of tough cases that you're talking about? I have. I've done exactly that. Matter of fact, I help assist parents in placing their kids in programs in assisted living that seem suited best to their child and their particular needs as per the person-centered planning concept, which, shocker, does not believe in the cookie cutter method. They have been successfully placed, JRC. You want to know why? Because A, I was operating out of lived experience, and B, I put all my hyper focus into studying the multiple plans and programs out there. And I would then research them again in regards to that particular student's case in order to find the best fit for the particular child. That is why I champion person-centered planning, because it isn't cookie cutter. And when married with another program, is more likely to give you best case scenarios. Because we didn't go with ABA. Because we talked to the fucking person with a disability. Shocker, right? What a revolutionary concept. Listen when your patient talks and tells you things. Crazy, right? Also, let's talk about success, doctor. Again, I will draw your attention to the fact that when kids leave your school, they don't have so much as a GED, let alone a diploma. I will bring you back to the fact that, in spite of what they say, this school has no realistic actual transition program in the place. When these kids go on to second education and all of that, secondary education, or into jobs, it's in spite of the JRC, not because of them. They do absolutely nothing to prepare them for the real world. Me being able to wrap popsicle sticks for fucking 9 hours is not an education, and it sure as hell not getting me ready to take a job out there in the real world. Nor is having all your activities surrounded by your godforsaken bad acid trip playroom. Okay? That's not success. Shocking a kid into catatonia, not success. Ruling through fear, not success. When these kids are all emotionally scarred and now have PTSD, that's not success. When you basically turn a student into a shell of themselves and set them up for further abuse down the road, that's not success. Let me tell you what success is, Matthew. Success is using a program with reality in mind. What do I mean by that? It is using a program with grounded into the reality that there's no program, no torture, no corporal punishment or starvation that is ever going to change the fact that this person has a disability. Dealing in that reality, setting that expectation immediately before you even begin. There's no quick fix. There's no insta cure. Don't even get me started on the anti-vaxxers because that's a completely different subject, and I will be doing this video for the next 3 hours. Everything it is catering it to the particular student. It's not a quick fix. It doesn't get immediate results. Real medicine never really does. It's hit and miss. It's trying again. It's going back to the drawing board when you need to. And let's also include, it's also evolving. As the student overcomes certain obstacles, the plan morphs. Crazy idea, right? Success is when you realize the reality. But because you worked on the actual triggers causing the behaviors, because you then provided the reasonable accommodations or slight adjustments or some self-soothing tools to assist, you bring the so-called dangerous behaviors, also known as meltdowns, down to a minimum, to at least where the person can live, operate, and work out in the community. And I can tell you it works, doctor, because if you don't want to use me as a case because, oh my God, you can speak, you don't understand my child, I will again point you back to my friend Renee. Let's talk about Renee real quick. Renee had a history, a lot like he's talking about here. Matthew Israel, please spare me the bullshit. You take on the worst kids, the only place in the world. It's garbage. Renee had self-injurious behavior. Renee was kicked out of many schools before she was put into one of the many borough programs and told basically what all autistics are. You'll always have to have somebody there. You'll never have a job, but Okay? She was considered one of the toughest cases. They went the person-centered planning route with Renee, alongside a little bit of the positive behavioral reinforcement. This is what I'm talking about. You carried her treatment to the patient, that particular patient. She now works a job. She lives in assisted living where there's always staff there if she needs them to be, but they're not there 24/7. She goes grocery shopping. She goes out on outings out in the community. She's living a pretty successful life these days because the people listened. Please stop telling me your way is the only way. It's not. Please stop saying the freaking proven lie that we take only the toughest cases and you don't understand because it's garbage. Do you have any idea how many disabled people there are in this fucking United States? Millions of us. Millions. Spare me the bullshit. As far as parents trusting, parents can be susceptible to cults, right? I mean, look at Jamestown. Okay? Look at the Jehovah, like some of these off-scribed groups of Christianity. Yeah, that. Not to mention, these parents are not exposed on a 24-hour basis what exactly you are doing to their children. They're doing what has been drilled into us from young ages to just trust the doctors. And because their kid they see what they want to see. They see the picture that the JRC is painting for them, and they take it and run with it because that's what they want to believe. No one wants to fucking believe their child is being tortured. No one wants to believe that their kids are being starved and horrifically abused, their human rights destroyed on a semi-regular basis. They would rather believe the beautiful lie than face the horrific truth. So, that doesn't work either. I'm going to close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.